petitions that have been filed there. Now, away from that, and in what looks like a direct response to the scrutiny on the competency curriculum, that is CBC, which is set for a major review, the Ministry of Education has published an elaborate bulletin highlighting the implementation process, while at the same time justifying the program's relevance. In a below account, the 59 document says the country is walking an uncharted path, but insists the vision of creating a modern economy requires that the education sector keeps pace with the change and adjust to the emerging realities of the day. And CBC is key to that transformation. Shadrach Miti with that report.
The competency-based curriculum CBC is now in the 6th year, and the pioneering class is set to transit to junior secondary school in January 2023. Yet, even with that long journey, questions still abound, with President William Ruto announcing the intention to establish an education review task force to collect public views and opinions with a view to informing the future of CBC. Education stakeholders have accused the Minister of Education and other state agencies involved in the implementation of the CBC of not involving the public.
The Ministry of Education failed us in terms of communicating to the public what they were doing. That has been their nature, and that is the fatigue which has bedeviled that institution for a long time. That one we have no recourse. But now that the President has called people to order, it is upon stakeholders now to ventilate. What can make this system work is basically a conversation.
However, through its first ever CBC implementation bulletin, the Minister of Education is putting up a strong case, providing information and enabling the public to understand and appreciate what is being done and express themselves freely on issues regarding CBC implementation. The 59-page document further says its publication is a recognition that education is a shared responsibility and that all stakeholders need to understand and appreciate what is being done, what is required of them, and make meaningful contribution in the process. The CBC newsletter is a product of the Ministry of Education and its semi-autonomous agencies including TSC, NEC and the KICD, with every agency highlighting its role and achievement so far. In the document, Principal Secretary for the Implementation of Curriculum Reforms, Professor Fatuma Chege, says the State Department has continued to employ a multi-sectoral approach in preparing the necessary policy document and guidelines to aid in the smooth transition in CBC, and that in a few years, the education outcomes will be different from today.
As I leave government, the most important thing I've seen in the CBC, which is the takeaway, is that we are going back to make the family. The child is going to engage the parent once again, and this is actually the most transformative aspect of CBC. The
publication of the CBC implementation bulletin by the Minister of Education comes even as the country waits for President William Ruto to constitute the curriculum review task force. Most of the issues highlighted in the bulletin, such as the cost of running CBC, transition of learners to junior secondary, the role of parents and inadequate teachers and school infrastructure, which have been captured in the CBC bulletin, are expected to be part of the terms of reference for the review committee.
That who pays the cost for education, vis-a-vis what the Constitution says. It's like a hidden cost. It's being taken to the parents. And parents could be resisting because they are fearful of the hidden cost that is being taken to them.
Shadrach Miti, KTN News.
Now, and as effects of drought continue to bite in various parts of the country, 3 more counties have entered the list of counties adversely affected by it.